Today we're going to talk about how to use Follett Destiny to look up books. So the first thing you'll want to do is on your MacBook, I suggest Chrome, but any internet browser will work. You're going to go to gofollett.com. Once it loads, I would bookmark it, add a star so it's one of your favorites since you're going to be using this frequently throughout the year. On this landing page, you're going to see you may have to select your school and city, but I've done this before, so it's defaulting to my school, Indian Hills. So I'm going to select Go. And then on this next page, in the upper right-hand corner is a login button. So while I can search without logging in allows me to do a lot more with my account and with our library books. So your username is going to be the exact same as your computer, your student ID, and your password is the exact same as your computer password. So student ID and computer password and submit. And then once you get to the Destiny Discover homepage, you will see it is welcoming me with my name to my school. So just do a quick glance, make sure you see your name and our school so that your search results are actually our school library. You can see recently added books, popular titles, topics. If one of these topics catches your eye, you can certainly click on it and do a little exploring that way to find a good book. But most often you'll use the search bar. So you can type an author, a title, or a keyword to find a book. So I'm just going to look for books about dogs. And you can see there are several tabs here at the top. For now, we're just going to look at books. And it tells me there's 161 results for my keyword dogs. So I can kind of scroll through here and see if anything catches my eye. This green flag is important because it tells me that not only does Indian Hills have this book, but it's in and on the shelf. So if I were to go to the library today to check this book out, it would be there. So this one looks interesting, so I'm going to click on the title just to get a little more information. So it gives me a little synopsis of the book. I can see that 6 people have reviewed it and they're giving it some pretty good reviews, so that's good to know. You can scroll down a little further and see under format that this book is 312 pages. And then most importantly, if I decide that I want this book, I can favorite it. And when I favorite it, it puts it in a list that I can access later. I can always unfavorite it if I want to. But if I've decided this book is what I want to read right now, I'm going to grab a piece of paper and I'm going to jot down the title, the call number, and the location. Our library is divided by genres, so it's important that I know that this book is in the historical fiction section. And then on top of that, I need to know PYR, those are the first 3 letters of the author's last name. I need that information and the title. So let's say that I've read this book in the past and I remembered that I loved it and I want to read something similar. On the right-hand side, it says you may also like, and here are several suggestions of books. Again, pay attention to the flag. If you see something that looks interesting, click the title again, and you'll get back to a similar page. It gives you a little synopsis, the important information that you need about where it's located in the library, and it is in, so I could check this book out. If I favorite it, again, it goes to that list. If I select hold, this means I want this book. Call me down to pick it up next hour. So make sure you really are committed if you select this hold button. So I'm going to close this window and go to these 3 lines in the upper left. So remember I was adding some books to my favorites list. So if I want to access that list, I'm going to choose favorites. And you can see all the books that I've kind of thrown into this list at one point or another. So I can certainly go back and unfavorite something if it's no longer of interest to me or maybe I already read it. So that's a good place to refer to if you're looking for a book. Checkouts. This is a good one if you're trying to keep tabs on your due dates. So this shows me that I have 1 book out and it's due August 28th. So that's important to see. I see that I have my iPad and my MacBook. So at some point, all students will have a MacBook listed under checkouts as well. If you go back to your 3 lines, and the last thing I'm going to show you is history. So history is kind of fun to see all the books that you have checked out since our school district has been using Destiny. And it tells you when it was checked out. And again, if you click on the title, it'll give you that more in-depth information. And this is kind of fun. If you remember, last school year I read this book. I can't remember what it's called, but I loved it. Go to your checkouts, go to your history and see, and maybe you find it. If you click on it, you can read it again. There's just a lot you can see here in your Destiny account. So that's it for today. Do some browsing. Think of a keyword of something you're interested in or a book that you loved in the past. See what's similar, and let's pick out our first book for Squire Time.